Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all your support. Hope you're having a great day. As you may know, the Gold Cup has kicked off, the last major tournament, last real test for the United States men's national team as we head into next year's 2026 World Cup hosted in the US. Opened up with Trinidad and Tobago, the US coming off four straight losses, and it is not a team that we expected to be playing when we take a look at this roster and this starting lineup. As you know, there's been a lot of ongoing drama. It's been focused on Pulisic, but of course he is not actually the only one out. If you look at the starting lineup, you got Matt Freeze, Chris Richards, Jack McGlynn, Sebastian Berhalter, Diego Luna, Tim Ream, Luca De La Torre, Alex Freeman, Malik Tillman, Max Arsten, Patrick. I always mess up Patrick's last name. Apologies, Patrick. Agmang. Uh, it is basically a team that's 25 years old, average age, 15 caps average. Tim Reams, the old dude with 70, which brings up the average a lot because the next is only 26, 26, 20, and then single digits for a lot of these players: 7, 7, 6, 6, 2, 2. Berhalter, Freeman, and Freese all getting their first caps in official competition. Jack McGlynn, his first start in official competition, and yet they did go on to dominate Trinidad Tobago with a 5-0 victory, which is kind of interesting. I know it was a long time ago. One doesn't have anything to do with the other, but it makes me go all the way back to when the U.S. needed a win against Trinidad and Tobago to qualify for the World Cup, in which they did not. And that was the golden generation Christian Pulisic in that game as well. And they were not able to get a victory against Trinidad and Tobago. Malik Tillman picked up a brace. Here's one of those goals from Jack McGlynn. You know, pressure leads to the turnover. A nice ball there. Great control. Picks out a teammate. Was able to settle and finish. That's really well done by Tillman. Mauricio had some nice things to say about him post game, which bodes well. I'm not sure if it bodes well for some of the guys who are not here.
I think Malik is a talented player that is obvious that everyone can see. He is very special, very special talent, and is very special kid. He's a fantastic kid. I think we are like in PSU, all in love with him. Now we start becoming love, myself and the coaching staff, with him, creating this relationship, and that is why I think we are so happy, because he's a talented player, one of the most talented players I think that we have in USA.
It's going to be it's going to be interesting to see what the World Cup roster and the World Cup starting 11 looks like as some of these guys get a real opportunity with a new coach to show what they can do. I think Jack McGlynn has a chance to take a lot of minutes away from players as well. So some of these players who are not here may regret this. And of course, we have more with all that. It's just that it will not stop. Christian Pulisic, for whatever reason, he seems intent on making himself as unlikable as possible, as being the villain in this situation. He actually went and did an interview and said that he wanted to play in the two friendlies. Now, this is a guy who was so tired that he needed to take off and was not going to compete in the World Cup. And yet somehow he wanted to compete in the two friendlies before, I'm sorry, but the Gold Cup, before the Gold Cup, which is actually incredibly selfish because the friendlies are a tune-up for the Gold Cup, and he wanted to take minutes away from the guys that would actually be playing with the Gold Cup. I'm not okay with that. And Mauricio is being tested, and I have to give him a lot of credit. This is something I don't think Berhalter would have done, which is part of the problems, is that Mauricio came back and said, look, players need to listen and to stick with our plan. They cannot dictate the plan 100%. The most important thing is that we explain why we decided not to include him in the two friendly games. And then if you have some problems, know That is not my problem to understand. And of course, you don't go out into the public. And there's no reason whatsoever for Christian Pulisic to put out there that he said he wanted to play in the two friendlies and was told no. Nothing good can come of that. And Christian Pulisic is all grown up and he should know that nothing good would come from that. So I'm not sure why he would put that out there. I'm sure his dad will have something to say at some point because apparently he's fighting his battles. Mauricio continued, when I signed my contract in the Federation, I'm the head coach. I'm not a mannequin. It's true that he wanted to come to be involved in the two friendly games, but for us, the Gold Cup is an important tournament. That's also a rebuke, the fact that you're not in it. But again, it goes to what I just said. These two friendlies are a tune up for the Gold Cup tournament. And Christian, you said you aren't playing in the tournament. So why would you be a part of these two friendlies? Yes, it was my decision, Mauricio continued. It was our decision not to include Pulisic in the two friendly games, and that's it. It was in our plan to bring him into play in not only the two games, the friendly games, but the Gold Cup. I love to be in communication with my players. I love to communicate. But at the same time, I want to keep that all the players feel the same respect from the coaching staff and for myself. If someone doesn't like this, okay. I think Mauricio is being seriously tested. I don't know what side the United States Soccer Federation is going to come down on, but in this, I'm hoping that it's the coach. This is the type of thing that we were not having under Greg Berhalter. He was much more interested in being friends with the players than he was in being their coach and developing the team to, I don't know, win some games other than against Mexico, as important as those may be. It is also important to win some other games and show some results. And then, unfortunately, I will agree with some people that Landon may not be the best person to be putting out this message, but he seems to be the one doing it. And even though he took his time off, and people can look at that and say, hey, well, you did that and that wasn't good, that doesn't mean his message is incorrect. And of course, he was in support of Mauricio here.
Was Pochettino correct in addressing the situation yesterday?
Well, he had no choice. He had to address it. He, I think, was ready to move on. He wanted to move on, guys. But then your best player and one of the leaders on your team does an interview publicly and says, I wanted to go, but the coach wouldn't let me, and the coach didn't want me there. He had to stand up for himself. One, to send a message to Christian. Two, to send a message to the team and the pool, but also for himself. You cannot be the coach that gets walked on by your star player. So for his future, everybody's paying attention. People who are going to possibly hire him, Mo. He can't just let his best player walk all over him like that. He had to respond.
Yeah, I agree completely. That goes to what I just said. I don't know if I don't know what Pulisic's thinking here, other than his frame of reference for doing this was Greg Berhalter, and my guess is he would not have expected Berhalter to come out and rebuke him. I think Pulisic has miscalculated. Now, do I think he'll be left off the World Cup team? No, I don't. Do I think it might be a good idea? Yes, if we're going to be consistent for those who talked about Landon Donovan not being the one to make these comments because of the sabbatical he took, which I believe was like, I don't know, it was a while in 2012, 2013, but those people keep leaving out the fact that Landon Donovan was left off the 2014 World Cup. So if they are going to be consistent and talk about, hey, well, Landon Donovan shouldn't say this because of what he did, okay, well, Landon Donovan did pay a price. So are you saying that Christian Pulisic should pay the same price? Again, you're supposed to be a leader on this team. I already did a video talking about other star players who have played far more than Pulisic did in the club season, and they are playing with their national teams, and Pulisic's taking time off. And then to expect to be a leader to take a time off before a major for a major tournament before the last one before the World Cup, and the World Cup is also in your home country. I got to tell you, and I don't think any of them would ever say it publicly, but as a teammate, I would not want him there. And I certainly am not going to look to him as a leader when he does that. And then on top of it, comes out and says, oh, yeah, I wanted to play in the friendlies, but the coach wouldn't let me. The friendlies are a tune up for the Gold Cup, Christian, which you are not playing. You had no business putting this out there publicly. I think that was a huge mistake. So we'll see what happens going forward. But I think Mauricio did the right thing. I got to say I'm pleasantly surprised that he did that. It doesn't happen a lot nowadays, but I'm glad that he did. I think that for the team itself, I think that helps. I think that does send a message to the rest of the players that, hey, I'm here for the team and to make the team the best team it can possibly be and to go get results. I'm not here to cater to individual players. I'm not here to cater to entitled players. I'm not here to cater to spoiled brats. I'm here to make the U.S. men's national team the best team that I can help make it. So, anyway, let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. Appreciate you checking out the video. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps out tremendously. Go ahead, just tap it, click it, whatever it is you need to do. Like it as well. Go have a fantastic day, and I will talk to you later.